Well, hello, pile one. If you chose the Selenite Desert Rose, this is your reading, and we are going to find out what exactly this solar eclipse in Gemini has in store for you that is happening on June the 10th, 2021. And then I believe June the 11th, 2021 for the other side of the world. And so the solar eclipse in Gemini, generally, or I should say universally, is going to bring a new chapter in the area of communication, okay, across the board. So every single reading is going to have this element to it, and we're just going to dive in a little bit deeper to figure out exactly like what area of life this is going to fall in, okay, for you, what this solar eclipse in Gemini has in store for you specifically. All right, so as you can see here, a solar eclipse can bring about shocking events, fast changes, a new chapter, leaving what is familiar, possibly an awakening, feeling lost, a reinvention. And then with it being in Gemini, all of this is going to happen in the area of like basically communication and every kind of form of communication that that can happen. You know, your social circles, social media, and then we'll figure out where this communication is going to be affected. And just so FYI, this energy, although this solar eclipse is happening on June the 10th or June the 11th, depending on where you're at in the world, these energies last for about 6 months, okay? So this reading is going to be pretty much something you can focus on and work on. You can use this information for the span of about 6 months, okay? Because that's how long the energy of the solar eclipses lasts. All right, so let's find out now exactly what area of life the solar eclipse in Gemini is going to be activating, okay, or working in. So it's going to be working in your first house, which is going to have to do with the body, identity, consciousness, ego, beauty and character, nature, gateway, beginnings, life philosophy, and awakening. But for you guys, what's coming through is ego, consciousness and ego. There's going to be some kind of some of you might actually have some kind of a shocking event. Definitely some fast changes are going to happen, and many of you may even be kicking off an awakening during this time. So the 6 months starting, on June the 10th or June the 11th, 2021, it's going to have some very interesting things happening in the area of consciousness and ego, even an awakening. Oh, look, it says awakening twice. Is awakening right there, and then all right, so there you have it. There's going to be an awakening for many of you, okay, going on. All right, let's get some more information. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. So we've got interesting animals, and then healing. So what's coming through is not animals specifically. There might be a tiny subset of you that have something having to do with animals, and maybe an animal needs to be healed. For the vast majority of you, though, this is talking about healing your animalistic ego, okay? If you don't know what ego is, I highly recommend you do do a Google search on it, look up on YouTube to find out how healing the animalistic ego, what that's going to look like, okay, and what exactly that is. But basically, it's the way that I can put it very succinctly, it's deprogramming everything in your mind that is not serving you at all. So think about the animalistic ego as faulty programming, okay, everything that is blocking you from being able to live the life that you want. Okay, all right, so wow, pile one, big things happening for you guys. Okay, all right, so we're gonna find out what area of life, what energy is coming through to support you during the next 6 months. Okay, we've got emotions. All right, so whew, you guys are in for you guys are in for an amazing transformation, because not only are you going to be having healing in the area of the mind, the mental body, you are going to be having a healing and an awakening in the area of the emotional body as well. All right, so when the ego starts to deconstruct, or when the programming in the ego starts to come apart in a good way, it can cause a lot of cognitive dissonance, which can then trigger a lot of emotional reactions as far as anxiety, worry. It can bring up a lot of, when the mind starts having its mental constructs challenged, what's coming in, cognitive dissonance, and everything that entails, okay? You'll understand when you're in the middle of it, but basically it's all your triggers start to come up, okay? And that's exactly how an awakening happens, is by what they would call a slow death of the ego death, okay? The ego never truly dies. So what's happening is, we need our ego. It's how we are able to go throughout life and know, what to stay away from, what to go for. It's how not to touch, a hot stove, or jump in, into oncoming traffic, things like that. Our ego is supposed to keep us safe, but for the vast majority of us, we grow up with faulty programming, right? And so an ego death is going to start to deconstruct all of the mental constructs and emotional constructs that are in place, that are harming you and harming your progression and harming your experience, what you want to experience here. So the energy coming through to support you is just to be very soothing during this time. All right, helping you to regulate your emotional responses while this awakening is happening. Because awakenings, there's two sides to the coin. It's very, when you are able to see past your limitations, and all of a sudden a whole new world opens up to you. That's the fun part, right? The other side of that coin is then realizing, oh crap, there's two sides to the coin. There's pros and cons. And so the emotional support that's coming through is going to be there to help you during those times when you are hitting the not so good part of the awakening, okay? Another good thing to look into is the dark night of the soul. Okay. All right, so let's dive in a little bit deeper. Actually, what we want to find out now is what to look out for, what's some guidance that you can use to steer you through this time. Okay, what's coming up? How is this awakening going to affect you? That way you can better navigate the waters while it's happening. And for that, we're going to look at some tarot. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse, and then we've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. So definitely coming out of sleep, yeah. And then the Hanged Man. We've got the Six of Wands reversed, and then we have the Six of Cups. Okay, so your mind is going to go nuts. Yeah, a lot of rigid mental constructs are going to be challenged. A lot of past things are going to be coming up for review. And so what your higher self wants you to know is that the way this awakening is the way you're going to feel this awakening, the way you're going to experience it, is mostly going to be, well, both through it's going to be very balanced. You're going to feel it coming at you from every single direction, honestly. So you're going to be dealing with past stuff, maybe stuff from your childhood, could even be some past life stuff coming through. Your higher self is also wanting to make sure that you don't what's coming up is downgrade, that you don't downgrade your victories. So you may have a tendency during this time to hyper minimize your victories. Okay, the Six of Wands is a card of victory. It's a card of being recognized. And so when it's reversed, you're going to be feeling like you're at the very bottom, right? Where, you know, like it's beyond you, not in a good way. And so what the Six of Wands reversed is letting you know is to not allow your mind and your ego to minimize even the smallest successes. Okay, so while you're going through this time, something really good for you to do is to maybe start like a gratitude journal, and in every single day remind yourself, this is a habit building exercise, is to remind yourself of all the things that you have to be grateful for. Okay, because what a dying ego is going to do, because an ego wants to hold on, especially a corrupt ego, an ego full of viruses. It's going to want to hold on as tightly as it can to its programming. Okay, it doesn't go gently, and so it's going to, you know, it's going to kick and scream, and it's going to kick up dirt, and you're going to be feeling it, especially from every single direction. Okay, so one of the ways to keep your head above water during this time is to train your mind to look for the good, to be thankful for the good, to celebrate even the smallest successes. And when I say celebrate, I mean celebrate, okay? Brag about them as if they were huge successes, okay? And so make sure in your mind you hyperinflate even the smallest successes. This is going to help you get through this potentially tumultuous time, okay? Awakenings are very fun, but they can also be very, very disruptive, okay? And so in order to get through this time gracefully, gratitude is going to be your best friend, honestly, all right? Something else that's coming up is that, you know, a period of suspension, which this is actually a good time. And so the fact that we're looking at a major arcana card here means that this is it's a big event, okay? This is a big deal. You're going to feel this on every level. And so what's happening with the ego when things get quiet, the ego goes nuts. Okay, we got the Queen of Swords here, and so the mind is going to be hyper active during this time, because it's going to want to do ego things. It's going to want to achieve. It's going to want to see progress right away. It's going to be very impatient, very impractical, illogical. It's going to want to see. It's going to want to see progress now, and the Hanged Man here is letting you know, when you're in awakening, it's almost as if you're inside of a cocoon, okay? Just because you're not seeing the outside world doesn't mean, you know, things aren't happening, that beauty isn't happening, okay? So during these 6 months, do not be surprised if things slow way down, okay? You're going to feel this awakening first in the area of your mind. Your mind is going to be opened to all kinds of new truths, and then it's going to, you know, transfer over into your emotions and into your heart. Okay, and while this is happening, you know, you're going to feel things are going to feel very still. Very still, very quiet. You're going to want things to happen very quickly, but whatever you're starting during this time, it's not going to seem like it's going to hit the road running quite yet. And that's not because you're not capable of seeing results, or you're not capable of doing the work, or you don't have the skill or anything like that. But basically think of it as you're in a cocoon. You're like the butterfly that's in a cocoon, okay? Chrysalis, I think, is what they call it. So on the outside, not a whole lot is going to be going on, okay? But on the inside, there's profound changes happening. And once the 6 months comes out, you're going to be a whole new, different person than who you were before you went in, okay? So just keep that in mind. Good information. All right, so now what we're going to look at is some practical steps to take to kind of help you through this time to keep you in alignment with your highest good. We've got the star coming out. Lovely. Okay, let go, relax, and release. And then we have don't stop, a miracle is around the corner. Okay, so when I see the star, I think about abundance. I think about good luck. Oh, okay. So this is here, the star. So what you need to do during this time of suspension, when things feel quiet, things don't seem to be moving anywhere, you need to remember that, you know, you live in a universe of abundance, and you can call good luck to you. Okay. You can create your own blessings, your own inspiration. And then to also, I'm seeing this kind of like a chakra, okay? And I'm seeing it kind of like from, in this star, I can see it encasing both your solar plexus and your heart chakra. So your solar plexus chakra is all about self-empowerment, what you're capable of producing, or what you're capable of achieving, and things like that. And then the heart chakra, of course, is, you know, the heart center. So, you know, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the universe, and your relationship with others. Okay. And so just remember that there is an abundance of power, an abundance of love that you have access to at any point in time, so that when you're feeling restless in this area of when, you know, when you're suspended, the hanged man, don't forget, number one, that, you know, you're just in the process of transforming, and that no matter what's going on the inside, you're still in the universe where there's an abundance of good luck and blessings and all the good stuff. Okay. And then also, part of going through an awakening is learning how to let go. You know, the mind and the heart, when they are trying to align with each other, because a lot of the times prior to an awakening, your mind and your heart are not aligned. Okay. That's why we have all these issues, because, you know, our heart is always the seat of truth. It knows truth. It's our minds that, you know, our faulty programming that causes all the problems. And so learning how to let go of mental constructs of the way things should be, what should be happening, how things should look, you know, basically it's like let go of all the shoulds. Learn how to let go, relax, and release. Just release any mental thought pattern, any belief structure, any mental construct that is no longer serving you. Okay, let go. And then lastly, we've got don't stop, a miracle is around the corner. All right. And that pretty much speaks for itself. Just keep going. All right, now we're going to look at some self-care practices to focus on during this time. Specifically for you, it says surround yourself with your soul tribe. Okay, so your close friends and family, and that could also include making, you know, making new friendships, creating your soul tribe, putting yourself out there. All right, but these people are going to nourish you and bring you back down to earth while this awakening is happening. Okay. And you may even, because of your awakening, start meeting people. You might start meeting your soul tribe during this time. Okay, so be open to that. Your reality is a reflection of your inner world. So that's basically what an awakening is. You learn that your power is within you, and that you can change your outer world by changing your inner world. So just remember that during the next 6 months, whatever is happening on the outside, that's really your perception of it, because, you know, you can have two people viewing the same event, and those two people can walk away with two different experiences. Okay, because it's all how they are interpreting the situation, if that makes any sense. Okay, so if you're having a challenging time with someone, or if you're having a challenging situation, go within and figure out how you're contributing or how you're showing up to possibly attract that experience or that situation to you. Okay. Next, we've got turn criticism into kindness. And this is specifically talking about, well, what I pick up from this, it's like your own self-criticism, your self-talk. You know, if other people are criticizing you, the only way it's going to affect you or hurt you deeply is if on some level you believe it. Okay, so if you deal with your own negative self-talk and you know, and turn that criticism into kindness, what other people say it's not going to have any kind of an effect on you. Okay, once you release those triggers and let go of those triggers for good, you really become untouchable and unstoppable in like the best way. And actually what's coming up now is like the star is like shining a light on the criticism maybe that you have been bestowing upon yourself, okay, and the limitations that you have put on yourself. All right, and so part of what's going to be happening during these 6 months while you're experiencing this awakening on a mental and emotional level is really going to be bringing up the belief systems that have been doing the most harm for you and keeping you from living the life that you want to live. Okay. All right. So we got one last message here, and this is just kind of like a parting message from your higher self, what to focus on during the next 6 months. Okay, so what is the most limiting belief keeping me from what I want now or right now? And so this is asking you that question. So what is the most limiting belief that is keeping you from what you want right now? And ask yourself that question. Okay, it says, what story are you telling yourself? When you think about your dreams, what is the first limiting thought that comes to your mind? If you are not living the life you desire, it's because a part of you doesn't believe it's possible. So for today's soul action, or for the next 6 months, it's time to upgrade. Oh, and I even said upgrade earlier, didn't I? I did. It says, look your belief in the eye. Where did it come from? What new belief are you ready to adopt in its place? How will this change your results? Remember, your belief is the root of your result. Own it, heal it, upgrade it. Nice. All right, you guys, pile one. That is your reading for the solar eclipse in Gemini, June 2021. If this video helped you out, please do me a favor and like. Smash that like button. Definitely share, subscribe, and comment. I value your feedback and your testimonies, and I look forward to reading for you again very soon. Bye, pile one. Well, hi, pile two. If you chose the Ametrine stone, this is going to be your reading, and we're going to be looking at all the things that the solar eclipse in Gemini has in store for you during the next 6 months. So the solar eclipse in Gemini is happening June 10th or June 11th, depending on where you're at in the world, 2021. And so the solar eclipse in Gemini is going to bring about some kind of a some kind of change, some kind of a beginning in a way. Could possibly be an awakening in the areas of communication. Okay. In the areas of your social circle and stuff like that. All right. Talking about information, connections, but mostly what's really coming through as being highlighted is communication. A lot of you guys, communication is going to be what brings about whatever changes are happening. Okay. So what we're going to look at first is, let's see what exactly, so we know the solar eclipse in Gemini, but we're going to figure out what area of life this transformation or this change or this new beginning is going to be happening in. Okay. And we've got the 4th house. So when I think about 4th house issues, I think about the people you consider home. And this could be people that actually live with you in your home. Okay. Your home dynamics. It also, if you're someone that lives by yourself, this could be the people that you feel at home around. Okay. So what's mainly going to be highlighted are going to be obviously family, maybe friends who feel like family. Just think about anyone who honestly that feels like home for you, okay? It can definitely mean, obviously, personal relationships can be in there as far as marriage goes, or, you know, long-term partners, maybe live-in partners, things of that nature, okay? Let's get some more clarity about what's going on with changes in the 4th house. So we've got strength. Then we also have boundaries. So some strengthening of your boundaries is going to be happening, which is very good. All right. We all need boundaries, especially with the people that are closest to us in our lives. All right. Okay. So let's look at now what energy is coming through to support you during these next 6 months of this, the energy of the solar eclipse. We've got the energy of rebirth. Okay, so some long-standing issues that may have been going on in your 4th house, 4th house energy, your family, your home environment, things of that nature. There's going to be very much a new beginning. Possibly an awakening that's going to be bringing about this rebirth of some kind. Okay, so the dynamics in your home life are going to shift, and it's going to bring it's going to be happening through communication is how it's going to happen, and then you know, strengthening your boundaries with those who make up your home environment. Okay, if that makes any sense. Let me get these over so we can. That's my Virgo stellium coming through, you guys. I'm sorry, but I need some I need some organization. Okay. Next, what we're going to be looking at is how this the energies of this these transformation of this eclipse, how is it going to show up in your life? Okay. A lot of the times when old structures are breaking down, you know, crumbling down because they need to, they can show up and we can experience them in multiple different ways. And so this is kind of just like a heads up on what this is going to look like, so you know you won't be blinded or sideswiped or whatever. Okay. So we've got the 8 of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles reversed, Strength reversed, the Page of Pentacles, and then we have Judgment reversed. Okay, so I do see you walking away from some kind of a toxic situation. And that's possibly like during this time. This is what's going to start off. That's what's going to I'm not saying that's going to be permanently. So what's happening with the 8 of Cups is he's basically abandoning the cups, right? And he's going up higher into the mountain by himself or by theirself to gain a different perspective. He's going up to the mountain alone, abandoning his possessions. And in this case, you know, cups mean emotions. So he's walking away from whatever is bringing him a feeling of emotional emptiness. To go alone away to the mountain to pray or meditate, you know, to gain a higher perspective, just to try to sort through and process whatever happened that emptied out these 8 cups, okay? And so these cups are empty. So he's walking away, and that's basically what I see happening with you. So, you know, walking away from a situation, possibly cutting, you know, off whoever is causing this emotional emptiness in your life, albeit maybe temporarily, to basically heal, to gain a higher perspective, because I see like a lot of the times this emotional emptiness triggers a lot of coping mechanisms, you know, distractions, getting lost in distractions, getting lost in addictions, a lot of triggers firing off and not quite knowing how to deal with them in a healthy way. And so, you know, self-sabotage gets employed, right? That's when self-sabotage happens. And so when you're walking away to try to gain a better perspective, just watch out for those triggers. They're going to be triggered regardless. But what needs to happen though is, okay, so let me give you the what's coming up, and then I'll tell you how you can best, head it off. Okay. So what's coming up is that, walking away from a situation that's bringing you, some kind of emotional pain, making you feel emotionally empty, which is probably going to cause, have some self-sabotaging coping mechanisms, distractions, stuff like that pop up, right? Which is possibly going to cause you to question your strength, question your courage, question your personal power and your ability, things like that, okay? So what this is saying then is basically to the exact opposite. Remember your strength, okay? Remember your courage. Remember everything that you're capable of. This might be as far as to, you might have to remind yourself on purpose everything that you're capable of, what your personal power is, okay? You're very strong. It's just sometimes, because of faulty programming, we tend to forget, okay? It's just the way the mind works. And so, when you're going through and you're going up to the mountain, just, find a better way, I guess, is what's being suggested to deal with the triggers that are going to come up. Okay, you're going off to heal, but triggers are still going to come up. The best way to deal with that is to know that you are stronger than the triggers. You're stronger than the problem. You're stronger, okay? You have the ability to overcome anything that comes your way. You're just that powerful, all right? So kind of a side note that's coming up now, the Page of Pentacles, when I saw this, I think about a student, someone acquiring new skills in the realm of, in career, okay? And so there's two things that's coming up here. Now, number one, this could be literal. Maybe this is saying the best way that you might be able to heal from this. Just make sure it's not a distraction, okay? Let's make sure it's not a distraction to distract from what's really needing to happen. But this could also be very healing for you as well. So you might be starting a new skill, starting school, starting some kind of a training or something like that, to help you in a way, deal with the emotional drain that's going on in your fourth house, okay, in your home environment, all right? This could actually represent another person in your life. That's possibly a student, someone that's in the process of going, through school, things like that. The Judgment reversed. The first thing that came to my mind when this came up is there's some kind of a secret or some kind of an unpleasant truth that's going to be coming to light in the midst of all of this. And this may be what actually causes you to walk away, or but because of the way the layout, the cards came out, you're going to learn this after you walk away. Okay, and this might actually bring you some kind of closure. Like, I have a feeling, no, actually you have a feeling something's amiss, but, because this is coming up during a solar eclipse, it's almost like it's going to be worse than you thought, okay? So just be aware of that, okay? This could also mean, another thing that came up is subconscious memories. So possibly things that have happened maybe when you yourself were a student in the past, that age of, that phase of life, whatever age you were. The Page of Pentacles is somebody who's very young, usually, preteens, teens, young adult, okay, would be the extent of the Page of Pentacles, but normally it's like preteens and then teens, right? So there could be some subconscious memories, or some unpleasant truths or secrets coming up that you may have forgotten about when you were that age, okay? That's going to be true for some of you. All right, let's look at now some actual, practical actions and steps that you can take that it's going to help to keep you in alignment with your highest good while these energies are at work in your life. Okay, so we've got change, so entering a new season of life. That's pretty self-explanatory. That's what a solar eclipse is about, but it's reiterating that there's definitely some kind of, okay, so there's a major change happening in your home situation. Okay, so there could be a breakup of a relationship, whether yours or someone very close to you. That would be like, you know, a relationship that's very structural in your life. Yeah, okay. It could even possibly mean like even home, like moving, an actual move away from what you currently think of as your home right now, your physical home. Okay, and then we got guidance. You are divinely guided. So whatever challenges or difficulties might be coming up from this energy coming to work in your life, just know that it is for your highest good. Okay, you are being divinely guided. So everything that's happening right now, it's almost like I can see the foundations of the home being broken up, the walls crumbling down and stuff like that. But it's because the foundation was built on very unsupported ground. The foundation was crap, honestly, is what I'm hearing. Okay, and so everything that's happening right now, it's, you know, it might feel very tower moment, like, you know, in the tarot, but it's all coming out for a reason. Okay, for your highest good. And then we've got the sun. So you are definitely gonna have to take the lead on this one. Masculine energy, and we're all made up of feminine and masculine energy. So masculine energy is very action oriented, very, you know, take the lead, initiate things, especially when it comes to, yeah, like strength and boundaries, right? So you're going to have to be the one to put your foot down. You're going to have to be the one to walk away. You're going to have to be the one basically to right whatever may have been wronged in the situation, and maybe there isn't anything that you can do to actually right the wrong that has been done, but you're gonna have to be the one to completely change the dynamics of whatever relationship or whatever environment this is alluding to. Okay, all right, next we have this is for self-care. So some self-care things that you can do during the next 6 months to really help soothe your soul, to help keep your mind and your emotions occupied in the best, most healthiest way, so you don't slip into help out with the Four of Pentacles reverse, so you don't slip into some self-sabotage. Okay, get those back in though. All right, we have change one thing today, start small. Okay, so with changes like this that are coming, it can feel very overwhelming. And so this is just letting you know, just focus on one small thing at a time. What's one small thing that you can do today to kind of get you started in the direction that you need to go on, okay? There may be a lot of things that need to be done in order for you to actually walk away, right? So what this is saying is, you know, don't focus on the entire laundry list of things. Just choose one thing, one small thing to do that you can actually start doing today, okay? That will get you going in that direction. We got relief self-doubt and let go of fear. So there may be some questions as to whether or not you're able to do this on your own if you walk away. You know, are you able to financially support yourself? Are you able to live a life than what you have known up to this point? And what this is saying is, like, just like the strength reversed, you have to remember, you know, when you release self-doubt and let go of fear, and then you remember your courage, and you remember your personal power, and you remember your abilities, that's what's gonna, you know, turn that strength around. Okay, it's going to turn that energy around the way it needs to. So, you know, just release your self-doubt and let go of the fear, and then what that's going to do is open up the channel between whatever it is you're needing to absolve the situation. And then last we have ask for help. It doesn't make you weak. Yes. So you don't have to go in alone. You know, it's perfectly fine, and it's actually being guided. Your higher self is telling you, you know, extend, you know, let people know. If you're struggling, let people know. If you're struggling financially, let people know. If you're struggling emotionally, if you're struggling mentally, if you're struggling in any way, shape, or form, let somebody know, okay? If you need help financially, you know, GoFundMe, talk to churches, talk to, you know, government assistance, things like that. If you need help mentally, obviously, you know, seek out professional help, you know, therapy, counseling, things of that nature. Same with, you know, emotional and, you know, and spiritual, you know, things like that. So just reach out and ask for help. Because this is going to be a difficult transition when we're talking about the home and, you know, roots and stuff like that. These are structures that have been in place in your life for a very long time, right? And so even if this is talking about a relationship, maybe you're living with someone and it hasn't been a long relationship, the dynamics in that relationship that are playing out, though, have been in place for a long time, even before you got into that relationship, okay? All right, so this is the final message and kind of like a parting message from your higher self. And this is something you need to ask yourself, okay? So are you consistently showing up is what you need to ask yourself. Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. And even when it feels uncomfortable, it takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. Journal where you can be more consistent in your life in alignment with your soulful goals, then show up. And this may have something to do with those of you that are going back to school, those of you that are, you know, trying to get your finances together, or your, you know, your financial situation together. You know, maybe you're starting a new business or things of that nature, and this is just letting you know, the only way you're going to go from student to, you know, a master is by doing this every single day, showing up every single day and not giving up, okay? All right, you guys, that was your reading. I love so much that you allow me to read for you, okay? If this video helped you out, do me a favor and smash that like button, share, subscribe, definitely comment, let me know what your feedback is. I value it so much, and I will read for you again very soon. Bye, Pile 2. Hi to you, Pile 3. If you chose the Fire Agate Heart, this is your reading, and we're going to be looking at what the solar eclipse in Gemini has in store for you personally, okay? So the solar eclipse in Gemini is happening on June the 10th or June the 11th, depending on where you're at in the world. And the energies that are going to be at work in your life, that are going to be triggered or catapulted, or however you want to say it, is going to be in effect for 6 months from that time, okay? So this reading is actually going to be your guide during the next 6 months. All right, so the solar eclipse in Gemini is going to be all about bringing about new chapters, possible awakenings, reinvention possibly in the areas of mostly communication, okay? And when we talk about communication, it's going to be more like outward communication. Sagittarius would be communication more like with the higher self, higher realms and things like that. Gemini is all about, you know, communication outwardly with people, you know, your home environment, stuff like that, okay? So think about social media, your social circle, things of that nature, okay? So now what we're going to look at, where the solar eclipse in Gemini is going to fall out specifically for you, okay? And we're going to be looking at 10th house, okay? So think about your career, your reputation, the legacy that you are leaving, the achievements you're doing, your empire, things like that, okay? So the solar eclipse of Gemini is going to bring about some kind of a new chapter or a change or awakening in the communication within your career, within your public image, your status, your purpose, okay, empire, things of that nature. All right, so let's just get some more clarification of what's going to be happening here. So here we've got manifestation. We got talent. All right, so the solar eclipse in Gemini, the energies are definitely going to be amping up your manifestation ability. Whether or not you're going to be manifesting a new talent, the talent that you have is going to be highlighted somehow. Especially if you've got talents in communication, maybe if like you're in writing or you are, you know, some kind of a public personality, things of that nature. Yeah, okay. So either which way, whether this is specifically talking about manifesting a specific talent, your manifesting abilities, especially within the 10th house, are going to be amplified, okay, during the next 6 months from the time of the solar eclipse in Gemini. All right, good stuff, you guys, good stuff. Okay. So next we're going to be looking at the energy that's coming through to support you during this time. Well, yeah, transformation. Of course, transformation. Huh. But a double dose, I guess. It's what this is saying is like, you know, yeah, obviously the solar eclipse has everything to do with new chapters and stuff, but the area, oh, look at the double tens. Oh, nice. All right, you guys, so transformation, what's coming up is in your manifesting abilities and in your talent. Wow, okay. Yeah, we got two double tens. So if you've been seeing a lot of repeating numbers, or if you've been seeing 10-10 quite a bit, that's just to kind of give you a heads up, like, you know, be careful about what you're thinking about, be careful about how you're feeling and things like that, because your manifestor is working overtime. So make sure that it's working overtime for you and not against you, okay? All right. Okay, next what we're going to look at is how you're going to be experiencing the solar eclipse in Gemini energies in your life, okay? How are they going to be showing up? How that way to kind of give you like a heads up so that you know what to expect, kind of like a roadmap or you know, a plan of attack should, you know, you experience these changes in any kind of challenging or negative way. All right, so we got the 4 of Swords reversed, the 5 of Swords reversed, the King of Swords, a lot of air energy coming through. And then we got the 3 of Wands reversed, and then the King of Wands reversed. So a lot of communication issues happening in your career, maybe in your life purpose. Definitely a feeling of suspension, but that's ending. Like maybe you have been like keeping quiet, keeping your communication to yourself about some petty things that have been going on around you. Okay, the King of Swords, this energy, this could be two things. This could be an actual energy, or this could be an actual person, like maybe a boss or a mentor, but this person is usually someone whose attitudes and mental constructs or way of thinking and way of seeing things is very fixed. So, you know, but I'm feeling like this energy is, you know, if this is a person, this person is in favor of you. Okay, so you're going to have favor with this person that's going to bring some kind of a resolution to a conflict that's been happening that has been affecting you in some way, shape, or form. Okay, because the 3 of Wands reversed is basically like you're wondering, you know, should I leave? You know, will I find better success somewhere else? Will the grass be greener on the other side? And the 3 of Wands is saying not necessarily. Okay. But the cool thing that's happening with the solar eclipse in Gemini, it's going to bring a complete overhaul of this situation. So where you may have been quiet, you know, and having to deal with pettiness at you know, at the job environment, or, you know, 10th house things can also just mean people that you have to deal with publicly, okay, or people that you have to deal with in the operation of having to do your job. So I guess that can mean clients too, right? Things that you have to deal with, you know, while you're doing your job. It doesn't necessarily mean like coworkers. It could actually be clients. Maybe, you know, if you're having some kind of a row with people online that have to do with your job or something of that nature. Okay, negative reviews or things of that nature. Negative reports, negative, what's that word? When they give you yearly reviews at the job, things of that nature, okay? What I'm really picking up on is a problematic, one or two problematic people, either at the job site, one or two problematic clients that are causing some issues for you. And then you've got the King of Swords energy that's really coming through to support you, okay? So boss energy, basically, whether that's energy in yourself that's being cultivated, or it's an actual person that's going to come through to support you in some way. Is going to help kind of squash this energy, this pettiness, this you know, cattiness that's going on, and really help to get things moving again, okay? But it is being kind of cautioned against. You know, you don't necessarily need to quit your job or, you know, close your business or anything like that, because this energy is going to be resolved. All right, so there isn't any need for you to question your abilities, to question your personal power, to question whether or not you're good enough to have this job or have this position or have this notoriety or anything like that, because you are more than capable, okay? So, but that's just letting you know how the energies at work might be showing up, and just so kind of watch out for those things, okay? Just so you kind of know what to expect. All right, next we're going to look at some practical guidance, some steps to take or actions to take to kind of help keep you aligned with your highest good during this time. And so we've got rest, give yourself time to recuperate. We have healing, allow light to enter your wounds. And then don't stop, a miracle is around the corner. So what's been going on, it feels like like I'm really feeling this King of Wands reverse energy has really been, you know, like whatever's been going on at the office. Because you guys have to understand, you know, maybe when you first started whatever it is you're doing, you know, you had every confidence in the world that you were more than capable of doing whatever job, you know, you were either hired to do or you set out to do, right? And then you came across maybe one or two people who really made you question your abilities. And this conflict has been really causing you to doubt yourself, maybe triggering some old wounds even. So, you know, rather than taking this conflict to heart, what may have been said about you or to you, or, you know, whatever, look at the pain, the triggers that situation brought up, and do some healing work around it, okay? What self-limiting beliefs have come out of that, and work with those, you know, to undo those, okay? So basically what's coming up is like, give it a rest. Stop worrying about it. All right? Give the worrying a rest, and, you know, just have faith that a miracle is around the corner. Like, this situation is going to be absolved in a way that maybe you don't even see coming. So if it's a problematic coworker, they might get fired, they might move, they might, you know, quit their job, they might go to a different office, or whatever is needed for you to be able to experience this transformation that conflict is going to be removed from you permanently, okay? Permanently. So I feel really good about the whole miracle thing. Like, imagine what you would need, you know, what are you needing to bring absolution to this problem? And if it feels like a miracle, guess what? That miracle is going to happen, okay? So don't give up. You know, don't think that you have to quit or that you have to move jobs or anything like that, okay? The universe has your back. Whoever the King of Swords represents, that person has your back. Yeah, this is energy in your favor, okay? So you're going to be, you know, if your talent's coming into question, just know that, you know, it's going to be showcased in a good way where they're going to be like, you know, oh, okay, obviously you weren't the issue, this other person or other people were, okay? All right, now we're going to look at some self-care, things that you can do to nourish yourself during this time, because solar eclipse is always kind of, you know, when we're experiencing new chapters and stuff, things normally have to die for a new beginning to take place, okay? So during the 6 months, while this energy is at work in your life, here's some things that you can do to nourish yourself and take care of yourself, okay? Keep your thoughts positive. Yes, please. All right. Just remember that, you know, don't stop. Keep the mental construct that a miracle is around the corner, and try to keep your thoughts and your emotions nourishing. This says practice feng shui, create a sacred space. So this doesn't necessarily mean feng shui. Maybe you need to move some things around, like if you haven't changed the position of your desk or the contents of your desk, you know, in ages. Maybe it's time to just, you know, move things around a bit. This could also mean at your house as well, okay? Kind of get in there and move things in a different way. Just kind of change things up a bit, okay? And then also write down your goals and dream big. Yes, your work goals, your business goals. That pretty much speaks for itself, okay? All right, lastly, we have here some parting messages, or a parting message from I said party, party message. Oh my gosh, okay, so how does my body want to move today? This is from your higher self. So the fact that I keep wanting to say party, and this is talking about your body, you know, get out and dance if dancing is a thing for you, okay? Because a lot of the times, especially if it's work related, we tend to carry stress in our bodies, you know, because a lot of us don't know how to really process emotions therapeutically. This emotional energy literally gets trapped in our body, okay? So part of how you can release this energy is by moving your body, whether it's through yoga, whether it's through dancing, walking, exercising. Just, you know, how does your body want to move today? And honestly, I see for a lot of you dancing some way, like moving your body in a way of, you know, maybe intuitive dancing even. I know they've got dances out there that can help dislodge trapped emotions, like in, you know, specific chakras and stuff like that. I know yoga helps out with that as well. Anyway, it says when we move, we change our state and raise our vibration. This new elevated state becomes a channel for more energy. Are you moving your body daily? Are you passionate about it? Is it time to try something new? So for today's soul action and through the next 6 months, all right, how does your body want to move today? Listen and joyfully do. Okay, so this is going to be the way, what I'm picking up is this is a way for you to deal with whatever stresses are happening in your 10th house life, okay? This is going to help you really move through and process whatever difficulties might be coming up, challenges, conflicts, and anything like that. This is going to help you let go and really process those, so you're not keeping that tension and housing that tension in your body, okay? All right, pile 3, that was your reading for the solar eclipse in Gemini. If this video has helped you out at all, do me a favor and smash that like button. share, subscribe, and comment. I value your feedback and your testimonials. And I look forward to reading again for you very soon. Bye, Pile 3. Thanks again. Hello, Pile 4. If you chose the green onyx stone, this is your reading. And we're going to be looking at what the solar eclipse in Gemini has in store for you. Okay, so overall, a solar eclipse in Gemini is going to bring about some kind of a new beginning, a new chapter, possibly even an awakening, or some feeling of a reinvention in the area of communication. Okay, and so, you know, think about communication between you and your immediate social circle, whoever that might be. Okay. Yeah, so information, communication, things of that nature. So when I think about Gemini so Gemini, the communication there is always between, you know, you and someone outside of you. Okay, so as opposed to like the solar eclipse in Sagittarius would be more like your communication between you and your higher self, you and, you know, higher realms and things of that nature. All right, so now we're going to look at, oh, and by the way, the energies that are brought about by solar eclipses always last for about 6 months afterwards. Okay, and so this reading is going to like act as your guide from the time of the solar eclipse in Gemini, which is going to be June 10th or June 11th, depending on where you're at in the world, and then 6 months out to the next solar eclipse. Okay. Okay, so let's look at what area of life the solar eclipse in Gemini is going to be activating specifically for you. Okay, we have 8th house stuff, which is usually more about sex, but the 8th house is also talking about other people's resources, and so what's coming up for me also, there might be a small subset of you where this is also dealing with debt. Okay, debt that you may have accumulated over some time. All right, but for most of you, I'm getting this is more sex related stuff. Okay, so if you are not 18 years of age or older, please go pick another pile. All right, YouTube semantics there. All right, so 8th house stuff. This is going to be mostly probably more or less focused on your sex life, things of that nature, but I do feel some of you, this is also going to be talking about debt. Okay, all right, so let's get some more clarification, please. We've got passion. So definitely sex is going to be addressed to these the solar eclipse in Gemini. The solar eclipse energy is going to be definitely activating. I'm feeling like or sensing some kind of a sexual awakening. Okay, to be honest, either a sexual awakening and or a reinvention of who you are sexually. And then we also have willpower. I'm finding, or what I'm sensing here, is that if you're not someone, like if you've had some sexual hang-ups, and you haven't been, how am I wanting to say this? So sexual hang-ups are coming through. If you've been very docile, if you've been maybe even prudish, or maybe not so vocal about, you know, speaking out about what makes you tick, two things are going to be happening here. You're going to be a lot more outspoken in the bedroom, much more willing to talk about what feels good and what doesn't. I'm even picking up that you might even pick up some sexy fetishes. Okay, and your willingness to explore is definitely going to be activated. Okay, you are going to be very, very much getting more in touch with your body and feeling yourself more as to be, you know, a god or a goddess in your body. Okay, really getting in touch with that part of yourself, okay? There's a lot of exploration that's going to be happening, whether it's just self-exploration or exploration with other people. Maybe even some taboo stuff. Fun. Oh my goodness. Pile 4. Sexy, sexy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm blushing. But how fun is that? Okay, so what other information is wanting to come through with willpower? For those of you who this is also touching on debt, the energies coming through with the solar eclipse in Gemini is really going to solidify your willpower so that you have more self-discipline and self-control when it comes to eradicating that debt, okay? All right, so that's just kind of like a sub note for some of you. All right, so what this card is going to show us is the energy that is coming through to support you during this time. And we've got a soul journey. So some of these hang-ups that, you know, are that have been keeping you closed sexually, and even some of these hang-ups that have caused you to rack up maybe a large amount of debt, past life stuff is coming up. Past life contracts, past life agreements, things of that nature. And so this energy is coming through to kind of help you wrap up contracts that you may have had with other people. If there is a relationship maybe that you just got out of or that you're getting out of, you know, giving you the energy that, or giving you the energetic support that you need to wrap that up so that this transformation can happen. But soul journey, that energy really is all about wrapping up karmic lessons, wrapping up contracts from past lives and agreements with people in this present life that you came in, that you incarnated with here. All right, those things are going to be wrapping up so that you can move forward, okay? Nice. And so this energy really is supporting your sexual awakening. And for those of you where this is touching on debt as well, there's some kind of karmic block or karmic lesson that is being cleared up so that that situation can be absolved as well. All right. All right. So now what we're going to look at, we've got some tarot cards here that's going to help us find out how you will experience the solar eclipse in Gemini energy. Okay, sometimes we can experience these awakenings or this new beginning or these new chapters in a way that feels good, and sometimes it can be a way that feels challenging. So I'm just going to kind of give you a heads up on how this energy is going to be manifesting and how you'll be, you know, possibly interpreting it. Okay, so we got the Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, the Five of Wands reversed. We got the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Okay, reversed. Let's see. I definitely see a lot of you getting yourself either out there or back out there, dating wise, out in the dating pool. So, okay, I do see some old relationships, like you're outgrowing some old relationships, and that might be friendships. This, you know what, especially with the sexual awakening, you might be outgrowing friendships that may have been based and founded on a belief system that was very much conducive to acting away sexually, right? Some of you might even be getting into, what is it, polyamory, where you have relationships with more than one person. You may actually start exploring open relationships besides polyamory. Am I saying that right? Because what I'm seeing is a lot of options. A lot of options. You are not going to be like, you're going to have your pick, okay? a lot of options are going to be available to you. It's actually probably going to be difficult for you to be like, I don't know who to choose, so can I just choose all of them? All right. I do see there may be somebody either in your life now or coming. Like literally like a knight on a white horse. Who's going to be very emotionally nourishing for you. This may be another counterpart whom you might have this open relationship with, or polyamory with, or however you want to say it. Now, if you're not somebody that is not, you're not in any way, shape, or form open to open relationships or polyamory, that's fine. What this reading is saying for you then is that this person is going to come along as a way of you exercising, exploring your options, so to speak. Okay. And this person may be very open to helping you, or they might even be someone who kicks off this sexual awakening for you. You might meet this person at work. And the Ace of Pentacles normally is all about like new career beginnings and stuff like that, which very well might say that you are going to, maybe your line of work puts you in front of a lot of potential suitors, okay? Yeah, because I'm not seeing a lot of, I know that Gemini talks a lot about communication and possibly even online communication, which, if you're dating online, that's fine too. But really what I'm picking up for a lot of you are going to be able to meet potential suitors, not only online, but definitely in person via either your workplace or the business that you're in. And or through your social circle, okay? Even maybe possibly, yeah. You might become part of some kind of a group even that is centered around something having to do with sexual awakening or sexual openness or things of that nature. Swingers clubs, and things of that nature, okay? So you're literally going to have your pick. But what's coming up, certainly with the solar eclipse in Gemini, this energy is really bringing on a profound sexual awakening for you, okay? So if you're not someone who is into open relationships or polyamory, that just means that you're going to really open yourself up sexually in what you're willing to try, willing to do. Open yourself up to just being pleasured and receiving pleasure. Open yourself up to really letting go of whatever sexual taboos you may have grown up with, you may have been conditioned to accept, and things of that nature, okay? And you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. All right, next what we're going to look at is practical steps and guidance that you can do and take that is going to keep you in alignment with your highest good while these energies are at work in your life over the next 6 months, okay? So here we have freedom, spread your wings, and oh my God, okay, so this is, like I said, 18 plus, but for some of you, it's like literal freedom, like have the freedom to spread your legs, basically, okay? For some of you, okay, that are open to that. Oh my gosh, just be safe while you're doing it. Okay, joy, your inner child is here to play. Yeah, do you see that? Do you know what that makes me think about? Oh my gosh, this is such a racy reading and I love it. Okay, create, nurture your creative energy. And then we have remember who you are, return to your roots. Okay, so quite literally, okay, these two cards right here are very sexual. The message that I'm getting is very sexual in nature. Okay, so it's like literally allow yourself the freedom to spread your legs. Like don't let outdated societal norms and structures to hold you back from exploring your sexuality. Okay. You know, and allow your, so here where it says allow your inner child here to play, but when we think about joy, bringing joy into your sexual experiences, it's more like that inner god or goddess. Okay, the sex god or the sex goddess. Let that person come out to play. Just think about, you know, playful exploration, pleasurable playful exploration. All right, and then here we have, you know, create and nurture your creative energy. So it's just allowing yourself to be sexually creative. Okay, and even possibly look into sexual manifestation, how to manifest, you know, the law of attraction using the law of attraction to manifest using your sexual energy. That might be fun for you, something to look into also as well. And then remember who you are, return to your roots. So at your root, so what the solar eclipse in Gemini, what it's, okay, so this solar eclipse being all about communication is being very vocal with others about what makes you tick, what makes you hot, what makes you climax, all of that good stuff, okay? And remember who you are. You're a goddess on a pedestal, or a god on a pedestal. You're a sex goddess on a pedestal, okay? Return back to your roots. That's who you are. You were never really meant to be closed down, but that's just so far has been part of your journey up until this point, okay? So, oh my gosh. Pile 4. Holy cow. All right. So what these cards is going to tell us is some self-care for you to do to kind of help nourish you during this time, during the solar eclipse in Gemini. Look for the signs and synchronicities. Trust your intuition. She's always right. And then step out of your comfort zone and try something new. That's kind of a... You're going to be doing a lot of that. You're going to be trying a lot of new things over these next 6 months, or as a result of the energies that are at work in your life over the next 6 months. If you have any question as to like maybe like your safety, just go with your intuition, you know, because obviously if you are exploring your sexuality, you're obviously going to be doing that mostly with other people. So, you know, and you have to be very careful when you're doing that, especially if you're doing it online, if you're meeting new people. Just trust your intuition where that goes, okay? Common sense and intuition. Just be very careful with yourself. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you in any way, shape, or form that is not in your highest good, okay? Now, if you're looking for a specific partner, just look for signs and synchronicities. You're going to be guided to that person very soon, probably within the next 6 months or so, okay? And then, of course, you know, step out of your comfort zone and try something new, which that's what all of this is about, okay? All right, and here is our parting message from your higher self, okay? And one of the questions you want to ask yourself is if you're letting fear stop you, okay? Which fear has kept you sexually closed off for a while, okay? And for the subset where this is about debt as well, fear has probably helped to fuel the accumulation of that debt, all right? Let's see, it says, are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of fear. You are unstoppable, but it's up to you to see that by taking action. So today's soul action, and you know, for the next 6 months, it says today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. So, you know, choose one fear or choose one position. You know, one position at a time, or one position, you know, 1 week or something like that, and just move through it. And what's really happening here is, you know, you might have a mental block about what you think you like and what you think you're not going to like. And you are actually going to be very surprised at how sexually open you actually are. All right. So, who you are at this moment, and then when you look back in the next 6 months, you're like, holy cow, I didn't even know that was me. Like, I didn't even know that I have this, you know, a siren, this sexy goddess, this sex god or sex goddess on a pedestal. I didn't even know that person was in there. Okay. And so exciting stuff, pile 4. I'm excited for you. Okay. All right. So that was your reading, pile 4. If this video helped you out at all, do me a favor and smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe. I value your guys' time. I value your feedback as well. And I look forward to reading again for you very soon. See you later, pile 4. Thanks again. Well, hey, pile 5. Listen, this is your reading. If you picked the blue tiger eye dolphin, okay, and we're going to be looking at the solar eclipse in Gemini, the energy that is going to be bringing into your life over the next 6 months. Okay, solar eclipses, the energy that is brought about by a solar eclipse lasts about 6 months until the next solar eclipse. So this reading is going to be your guide from the time of the solar eclipse in Gemini, which is on June 10th or June 11th, depending on where you're at in the world, and then 6 months out until the next solar eclipse. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at what area of life the solar eclipse in Gemini is going to play out in. So a solar eclipse, they always bring out some kind of a new beginning, sometimes an awakening, sometimes a reinvention, things of that nature in the area. So Gemini is all about communication, information, your close social circle. It can also be like dating and things of that nature, okay? Online social media, things of that nature. All right, so here we have the 9th house. So the solar eclipse in Gemini is all going to be all about some kind of a new beginning or an awakening. What's coming up is a spiritual awakening for most of you, okay? There's going to be some kind of spiritual awakening happening. And with Gemini being about communication, specifically communication with you and your higher self, or, you know, a higher power or something of that nature, okay? You're really, really going to be experiencing a strong connection between you and your higher self, or you and, you know, a higher power, be it the universe, source, God, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so good stuff. All right, good stuff coming to you guys, pile 5, over the next 6 months. All right, let's just clarify some more about how this solar eclipse energy is going to be playing out in the 9th house. Ooh, okay, so more specifically, life purpose. And then lighten your load. So a lot of heavy spiritual energy, maybe even, so lighten your load can even be karmic stuff. So during the next 6 months, it's like the solar eclipse, that energy is going to be helping you plow through like lifetimes of negative karmic blocks, okay, from previous past lifetimes, including this current lifetime, of any karma that you may have accumulated during this lifetime, okay? So the spiritual awakening, you know, yeah, you are going to get a spiritual awakening, but it's like the purpose of it is to bring you closer, or even activate your life purpose, or reveal your life purpose to you, or if you already know what your life purpose is, to help you finally get established and get activated and get going in that direction, okay? And the whole lighten your load thing. So not only is this solar eclipse in Gemini going to help you plow through karmic blocks. It's also going to help you lighten your load of any kind of like negative mental construct, you know, belief systems, mindsets, things of that nature, that are blocking your ability to really connect to your life purpose and walk out and live out your life purpose or activate your life purpose. Okay. All right. So next we have the energy that is coming through to support you during this time. Self-love. Yes. All right. And that's pretty self-explanatory, I think. As we get going in the reading, if anything else pops up, we'll talk more about it. But yeah, self-love is very, very important, obviously. You know, anytime we have like awakenings happening, there's like a good and a bad side to it, right? Like an awakening really happens and you're able to see things or past things you haven't been able to see before, right? A spiritual awakening, though, it's a whole other experience, because, you know, if we have, like, say, a sexual awakening, you know, there's certain things that come along with a sexual awakening. But when I think of spiritual awakening, I think of like inner demons, dark thoughts, you know, shadows, things of that nature that come up that need to be dealt with in order for you to really connect to your higher purpose here, right? And so, you know, some of you may even have actual like entities or things that need to be dealt with, you know, generational curses, generational baggage, you know, and actual like attached solar entities, you know, wreaking havoc on you in your life or whatever, things of that nature. And so, you know, this is potent energy coming through, and self-love. So, you know, this is definitely going to be needed, because when you're drudging up and you're dealing with things of that nature, things of like, you know, either inner demons or actual, you know, negative types of energy that are sentient. So you might think of demons as actual demons, but you're going to need self-love, because these types of energies are going to come up and really try to mess with you. Spiritual awakenings are very powerful, very potent, and so you definitely have entities that might be attached to you staying asleep. So what they tend to do is they tend to try to hit you where it hurts, okay? And they'll hit you where it hurts as far as like how you think about yourself and your capabilities. You know, are you worthy? Am I good enough? Can I do this? You know, things of that nature. And so the energy of self-love is wanting to come through and support you during this time to help you remember who you are. That no matter what inner demons come up, you know, you're going to have the capabilities to really remember who you are, okay? Not only are you self-love, not only will you be able to love yourself, you'll be able to remember that you are love itself. You're love, okay? So very good that that's coming through to support you during this time, because spiritual awakenings are both amazing experiences, but you also have to remember that you are dealing with a lifetimes and lifetimes full of really difficult things, okay? So that's good that that's coming up to support you. All right, next we have some tarot cards here, and what these are going to help us see is exactly how you will be experiencing the solar eclipse in Gemini energy at work in your 9th house, okay? Basically, how are you going to be experiencing the spiritual awakening, and how this spiritual awakening is going to affect your life within the span of the next 6 months, all right? So here we got Justice reversed, okay, and then we've got the Devil reversed. We have the Page of Cups, the Five of Pentacles reversed, and then we also have the Five of Cups reversed. All right, so definitely a lot of karmic stuff coming up for for resolution over the next 6 months, okay? I wish I could tell you it's going to be, you know, rainbows and lollipops and stuff like that, but just a heads up, okay? You're going to have a lot of inner demons coming up, a lot of literal negative entities maybe coming up. But to let you know, though, nothing can attach to you or stay attached to you without your permission. So you don't have to be afraid of, like, you know, what I'm seeing mostly is just inner demons. Okay, there are probably a few of you here who are actually dealing with negative entities that have attached to you from, you know, a few lifetimes. But just, you know, the solar eclipse in Gemini, that energy is coming through to help detach you from those things, including inner demons and literal negative energies, or what you might call demons for some of you, okay? So things to look out for over the next 6 months is just as you are in the process of breaking away from a lot of these inner demons and negative entities. And inner demons come up, it's like shadow work. So inner demons are things like, you know, the deepest, darkest part of yourself that hates yourself, right? And the self-talk that comes out of that is going to come front and center for you to deal with. And it's not going to be pretty, okay? So, you know, it's going to have you feeling like, you know, life is so unfair. Why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? Things like that, okay? Just know that you've been dealing with situations, you know, this specific lifetime, and with the solar eclipse in Gemini happening in the ninth house. Now, I'm not saying that it's actually happening in your ninth house, like if you pull up your chart, but this is giving us an idea of exactly how it's going to be affecting you, okay? And I lost my train of thought. We were talking about karma. Yeah, karma. So I'm trying to figure out how to say this, because I'm not about, you know, like victim mentality or victim blaming or shaming or anything like that. You just have to understand, like, when we incarnate here, our soul accumulates karma, right? And there's good karma and not so good karma. And so it's like this lifetime is specifically here for you to get rid of and deal with all of this karma, but it starts with an awakening, right? And so there's multiple awakenings that we go throughout life. This one in particular that you're gonna, whether this is your very first experience of an awakening or if this is one of many, there's a lot of karmic baggage that is coming up to be dealt with and absolved and released during this solar eclipse in Gemini, you know, this time in the next 6 months. So just understand what's going on. It's just karma that's playing itself out, okay? You are going to finally be able to, like, release, like, this is literal bondage, like you're letting go, you're releasing this bondage that has kept you bound for lifetimes. I'm not just talking about this lifetime, I'm talking about lifetimes, okay? So, you know, I do feel like a lot of you have had a very, very hard life. Very hard, very challenging. Some of you even, you know, had to deal with a lot of tragedy, just including shitty childhoods, okay? Things that no one should ever really have to deal with, you know? But for you, that's like your life story. And so, not to say that this sentiment, you know, isn't justified. It absolutely is. Just be careful not to fall into this trance of why me, what did I do, stuff like that, because that is actually not conducive to your awakening and your progress moving forward in this lifetime, okay? So just remember that your inner demons are going to be talking to you, and they're going to be talking very loudly, you know, and it's going to be demanding things that are not necessarily, that are not good for you, okay? But, this solar eclipse, you know, especially with the energy of self-love coming through, this influence is weakening, very much weakening. And while the voices might be talking to you, trying to bring you down, trying to, you know, keep you in a state of thought, in a state of feeling that is very low vibration, this energy and this influence is weakening, weakening, weakening. Okay, so the chains that have kept you bound are going to be breaking off, and there's going to be quite a few chains. Okay, there's a lot of karma that's coming up for resolution during this time. And, you know, a lot of the times when these chains are being broken, the experience that we're going through as they are being broken off is not, it doesn't feel good, because a lot of these times, you know, we're experiencing heavy feelings, heavy thoughts, you know, and things of that nature. So just be very, very on alert, and be very aware of your self-talk and how that is making you feel and view life, because you can change the way you think. You just have to remember, you know, you're not a victim. You're very powerful. You have the ability to, you know, change your direction in life at any time. And just remember that this, for the next 6 months, all of this is happening. It's coming up to the surface for you to deal with it so that it can be broken away, because you do have a higher, you do have a you know, a higher purpose here. But in order for this higher purpose to be fulfilled, there's some junk that needs to be, you know, sifted through first. Okay, but don't forget, though, you know, the that energy of self-love is coming through to help remind you and soothe you during that time. Okay, I do also see like you're possibly going to even kind of like relearn how to love yourself, as well as relearn how to love others, right? Because this whole a spiritual awakening affects your relationship with yourself and your relationship with other people. And when I say yourself, I mean your avatar and your higher self. Okay, so it's kind of like taking you back to, you know, being a teenager again, being a kid, learning how to relate with other people, but in a way that is more healthy. Okay, and also, as when we're talking about lighten the load, part of you relearning how to love yourself and love others is, you know, boundaries, as far as like what you will allow others to how you will allow others' opinions of you to matter. Okay, and really you shouldn't. That's pretty much the thing. It's like you're going to be learning how to love others through a whole new set of boundaries in a way where it's going to be healthy. Okay, and so also what's being shown here is this awakening is really going to change the way you deal with like whatever poverty. So it's going to change the way you relate to finances and to you know, love and relationships. So whereas you may have had some kind of a poverty consciousness before in money and in love, that's going to change. Okay, those, you're really going to kind of like awaken out of that to where you see there's always abundance. There's an abundance of money and love everywhere. Okay, whereas you may have been disappointed in finances and in love, you're really going to see how you are empowered to change all of that around. You're empowered to increase your access to more money, and you are empowered to increase your access to love and attract those kinds of people into your life. Okay? All right, next we have some guidance on actions and steps that you can take to align you and keep yourself aligned with your highest good during this time. So we've got happy endings, end of a chapter. We have healing, allow light to enter your wounds. And then we've got speak up, use your voice to express yourself. All right, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There definitely is. This awakening, this spiritual awakening, is really going to reacquaint you with your sense of self-power, your sense of ability to create the life that you want to create, okay? And so all of the darkness that comes up during this time, just remember, with the self-love especially, let those triggers come up and let those thoughts play themselves out and meet them with love. Meet them with love and healing, okay? Love that part of yourself that is hurting, okay? That helps to integrate it. And then, of course, you've got speak up. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you're somebody who has a hard time speaking up for yourself, let that be another way that you love yourself, okay? Okay, next we have some self-care that you can do during this time to kind of help nourish you through some of the more challenging and difficult times. We've got believe in yourself, unleash your inner unicorn. So really just know that you're capable of doing what needs to be done. Anything that you can do, anything, whatever you need to make it happen, you have access to, okay? You have access to, you have the power to, you have the ability to, and you have the access to resources also, okay? Write down your goals and dream big. Open up your mind and your heart, okay, to your dreams. And then we have nourish your body with high vibing energy. So your spiritual, your body is the antenna, okay? So part of this spiritual awakening is all about communicating with yourself, or the way a lot of the times, a lot of us receive information is through our body. Our body is the antenna. It's like a radio. Well, it's not going to be able to receive information when, you know, the body is clogged up with toxins and, you know, free radicals and pollution and all kinds of stuff. And so one of the things that I'm picking up for you is to possibly look up different kinds of fasts. You know, and right here, she's literally like kind of like a smoothie fast, a liquid fast. Look up different superfood fasts that you can do that's going to help rid your body of toxins and junk and sludge and years of toxic buildup, okay? And get your body nice and finely tuned so that you'll be able to really receive messages clearly from, you know, your higher self, from your higher power, from higher realms, your guides, and all that good stuff, okay? All right, lastly, we have just kind of a parting message from your higher self. It says, on whom am I placing blame right now? A person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson. A person who blames no one has finished their lesson. So today's soul action and for the next 6 months is to take responsibility. On whom are you placing blame right now? Today, free yourself by releasing all victimhood, blame, and resistance. They don't belong where you are going. Only love and courage live there. Make a choice to do it, even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart. You will be led. So even another message on guidance and being led. I love it. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, Pile 5. That was your reading for the Solar Eclipse in Gemini. And if this video, you know, brought you any kind of value, do me a favor and smash the like button. Share, subscribe, and comment. I value your feedback and your opinions, okay? And I look forward to reading again for you very soon. Bye, Pile 5.